My 12U team has an athlete whose mom has been diagnosed with cancer, and the family has been told to prepare for the worst. His dad is one of my assistant coaches. They are phenomenal, a phenomenal family. My heart breaks for them. I'm curious of your feedback on how to love and support him, the coach, and the son through this. Flick Money, I'll start with you. How's this hit you?
I mean, like a ton of bricks. Just feeling for the kid and the family. I mean, what a time in life to get hit with something like this. And moms are so naturally at the nurturing heart of the whole family unit. I just, my heart goes out to everyone involved here. Um, I know for a fact that um, there's so much now that's abnormal in this child's world on the home side and going to hospitals and these things having to deal with that it sounds like you're doing all the right things. And by right, I mean, how much normalcy can you create for him in the baseball world, right? Um, I know there's a tendency sometimes we want to, if we're empathetic, hey, let's get him to talk about it, or let's get everyone to share with him, and it kind of takes even the baseball side of it a little out of normal, right? Like, cool that everyone's telling me, nice things, or we're all like, but uh, having a place to escape from that's just hyper normal. And so I would just do as much as you can to make those practices, you know, high energy, competitive, fun, the things you would normally do, amp them up a little bit, and give them opportunities to laugh and have joy that aren't, because if you sometimes if you say, okay, hey, let's all go around and tell this player, what we think of them, it's just like, man, this is another place where it just feels a little odd. Now, having said that, can you have conversations with other kids and be like, hey, let's make sure that we've got this dude's back. Let's make sure that we're pumping him up. And I'm sure maybe that probably all the families know. Um, it might already be happening naturally, but yeah, I would just say hyper normal, making sure he can get to and from practices. And every once in a while, my favorite check-in with the kid, I call it fist to five. So a fist would be a zero, one, two, three, four, five. So there's six possible scores, and I would say, "Hey, man, fist to five today. How you doing?" Just privately, quietly. Zero would be like worst day of my life. Five would be like unbelievable day, and just check in with them. So it gives him way. He doesn't have to say anything. Fist to five. Where are you at today? I'm a two today. Okay. Well, then I know I might not lean into him too hard if he seems a little draggy, energy's a little low. If his, maybe I'm not asking him to go out and lead a drill. Um, if it's a zero or a one, then I know I'm going to have to give him some pump up, arms around, extra hugs. So that's something that you can work out with the player and just say, hey, man, every once in a while, we're going to have extremely normal practices, but every once in a while, I'm going to check in because I care about your heart and I just want to make sure you have a place to say, hey, today's a one. Today's a really, really tough day for me. And then that gives me a sense as a coach of when to lean in, when to lean out, and how to lean in. Am I leaning in? If he's having a three, today I can push him a little bit. We can get a little competitive, have some fun. If it's a zero or a one, today's the day I need to lead in with an arm around the shoulder. Today's the day I need to lean in with a little more heart. So that's just one tool that I've used in the past.
Throw a question at you. Uh, One of the coolest things I've ever heard somebody do in these moments of darkness and grieving of a friend is they drove to their house, they parked their car in front of their house on the street, and they just sat in the car. And the husband of the wife who was sick came out. What's going on? He's like, you don't have to talk to me. You don't have to text me. I'm just going to sit here and if you need me, I'm here for the next 12 hours. And I think that is that that's a stance that feels right to me. So I I would ask you, um, would it be cool to have a one-on-one with the dad, have a one-on-one with the kid, with that stance and let them know you're not alone. You don't have to tell me anything. You don't have to cry in front of me. You don't have to talk about the issue, but I am going to sit here with and wait and be ready if you need me to run and get some bread or run and do anything. Um, in the event you would want to bring this up to the whole team and talk about um, this time and how hard it is, would you want us to rally behind you and have that chat? I mean, would that be too much? Would that be, I don't know. I struggle with that. Where should we bring the whole team in and have this talk, or should we just leave it as one-on-ones? What do you guys think?
I would just say let it be player directed. So that is a conversation to have with the player. This coach who sent you the text, coach, I would say, you ask the player, hey, how do you want us to be teammates? Right? Just like we talk about with parents. How do you want us to be teammates? Because it might change. It's dynamic, right? So there's a process of someone's getting sick when they're sick like this. It's months long process of a decline for the person. So it's going to change over time. Then there's the actual, when if mom's not able to have a miraculous healing, and I'm holding space that could happen. But if it doesn't happen, then how do you want us to be around an event? How do you want us to be going forward? Maybe the kids like, yeah, I would love to talk about it. Like, can we do a talking circle? I would love to, be able to share but that may not be the case. They may be like, hey, I'd prefer not to, believe me, I'm getting plenty of that. We're doing a lot of talking in our family. Like, I'm okay with that. I would just love some distraction. I would love to go do some fun things once in a while here and there. So maybe that's something different families on the team can help and send some invites for some, ice cream breaks and bowling alley trips. But I would just ask the player, and they're young, so they may not know what they need. And that's okay if they're like, I don't know, then you might have to do some little bit of experimentation and gas pedal braking around the edges. But unfortunately, there's not a playbook for pre-grieving the loss and grieving as a 12-year-old male
Yeah.
in this situation. You're just going to have to. But the fact he's asking the question, coach, I can already tell the heart's in the right place, and this kid's lucky to be on this team.
Indeed. Chopper, this husband and father is assistant coach. Um, what advice do you have for this head coach for him? I mean, what do you got?
Well, we went through it with our group, and we had one of our moms pass away from breast cancer when the boy was 10, turning 11, or just to turn 11. So it was incredibly difficult. There's no roadmap for it other than just making yourself available. And that's what we did. I want to say we set up meal trains for the family. Listen, the kid's going to miss a lot of practice and a lot of games. That's really, really hard. He's going to show up to practice emotional, and it's really hard, dude. It's really hard. We set up a scholarship in the mom's name. Brenda, we put her name on our jerseys for breast cancer awareness, and we honored her. Um, incredibly dark for the dad, incredibly dark for the kids. I remember Deb gave Fernie Jr. A necklace, and it had the Lord's Prayer on it. And Fernie said that his mom would say that to him every night. So listen, if you have believe in a higher power, listen. He'll tug on your heartstrings and give them what they need to hear. Debbie didn't know that. God just told Debbie to give Fernie Jr. the necklace off her neck. And that was something that the mom Brenda did every night with him. So look for those opportunities. Just be available. Be patient. I can say both these boys, Angel and Fernie Jr., not going to talk a lot, man. Like that, they're gonna internalize it. They don't know how to talk or what to say, and so you're his baseball coach, and so make baseball practices fun. I would look for those opportunities, Flick, like you said, one on one of a, hey, you okay, dude? Like, you all right, man? Um, and now I get to coach him in high school, which is incredible. And um, still a man of few words. He's 15, just turned 16 now. And Debbie is basically like a mom to them. She's their speed and power coach, and they're, you know, that kind of that motherly figure. They've also got great support with their family. Their aunt really stepped in. Um, but no, dude, it's super, 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 super hard. And all you can do is be available and make sure they know you care. I can tell you the love that I have for that family is unrivaled and unmatched. And so that came through this hard time. And the dad is now remarried, has a little baby, but there will always be this incredible space for Brenda. Um, and so here's the thing too is they'll be okay, you know? And so like you've got to just love them through them, be available. Um, but no, it's going to be hard, dude. There's times, like I said, like there were spaces where that family was couldn't be there, couldn't be at practice, couldn't be at games, and it was never an issue of like where you guys at. It was more about, hey, how can we help you? What do you need from us? Uh, but yeah, it's hard, dude. Prepare. If I would tell this coach, prepare, dude. It's really hard. It's emotional. It's hard. Um, but all we can do is support through this. It's tough.
Yeah. I like be available, be you, and then get the rest of the team together. And a lot of times 12-year-old boys don't know how to communicate to each other, especially when it's a topic like this. So let them know what to expect. Let them know what's coming, what this kid is going through, and teach some core life lessons to those other 11, 12 kids on that team of how to approach it. Right? Don't other this kid. Don't. There's no elephant in the room here. Just be available and just ask the question. Uh, how can I help you? How are you? How can I be available for you? You know, I I think that's how you build that environment. Teach these kids how to approach it. Boys, we just want to let's sweep it under the rug. It's not let's go 180 and do the other route. No, this is a good opportunity to have a team meeting with everybody else and let them know this is our guy and we got to care for him. So I like it. Yeah. Coach to player, coach to assistant coach, the one-on-one, just pull up in your car and say, I'm going to sit here. And if you need anything, just knock on my window. And then if it feels right, you can ask him, do you want this roundtable discussion? Or not? Either way, we're good. So
Meal trains really help, man. Like
yeah.
you forget like families without mom, dude, like it's and she's still here, but like she's going through it, right? So like dinner is an absolute burden on a family in times like this. So like I would set up a meal train with every family on that team. And they won't ask for it and they will say no, but they will love it when you do it. So I would set that up and I would get 2 or 3 weeks of meals just done off their plate. And so um, that would be a recommendation I would do for sure. And once again, the family will probably insist that you don't do it, just do it. And they'll figure it out and they'll appreciate it. It'll matter.
Good. Flick Money, anything to close up shop on this and the week?
One subtle thing, Coach. Today is the anniversary. When I was 17 years old, lost one of my best friends on December 3rd. Changed our senior year, changed my life. It's definitely one of the reasons I've angled and done the work that I've done and I'm doing in my life. And one thing that I remember with my friends and that really started to shift, and maybe it will happen naturally, but to this coach, the introduction of the word love into your culture. If you don't use it already, I know with 12-year-old boys it can feel awkward. So I might qualify it and say, hey, we English has one word, love. It means many different things. Other languages have 12 or 13 different words for that. We have one. There's romantic love. There's love of brotherhood. There's love of humanity. The wider sense. But we're bringing the word love in here intentionally because this is a time for growth and healing for all of us. And so just take the weirdness out of it, but just start saying, "I love you." We love you, and sing it to the other players too. It's really powerful to have that sense around, and I think highly encourage that as an incorporation in this time.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Well, gentlemen, can't think of two more wise men to broach this subject with. And for this coach, um, you're already doing it. You're already on the right track. So, um, my prayers to this family. They'll be going out every night with Avery and Aubrey as we do our nightly thoughts and prayers for folks. And my daughters, they just out of nowhere always say, those people that are sick, those families that are hurting, help them. And that that always feels right. So um I got nothing else. That was great. Boys, appreciate you.
Love you, boys.
Love ya.